Hi, I'm Dave.
And I'm Matt.
And welcome to Sofa Reviews. Today we're watching Miami Vice.
Released in 2006, it's a film based on a TV show from the 80s.
We're immediately thrown into a nightclub where we see Colin Farrell and his porno mustache.
He's Sonny Crockett, and he's supposed to be watching a drug deal.
Where you from?
Lisboa. That's in Portugal.
Did you got your tan in Miami?
No, they have the sun in Portugal nowadays.
After some indistinct events happen, we get to see Jamie Foxx as Rico beating up a guy.
As this is such a common event, no one even stops dancing, let alone reacts to the violence.
Of course, none of this matters as the plot decides to show up.
Sonny gets a call from an informant explaining an FBI deal is about to go bad.
Although the film doesn't really explain this very well, we do get to see the FBI guys get killed.
Meanwhile, Sonny and Rico somehow track down their informant.
He explains that he sold out the FBI to save his girlfriend or wife. That bit's never actually explained very well.
However, Rico explains that she's been killed, so he decides to kill himself via jump cut.
Later, Sonny and Rico meet with the FBI boss, who wants to recruit them so he can discover the leak in his organisation.
They realise they won't be able to infiltrate the white supremacist gang, so they decide to target their Colombian suppliers, because everyone knows white supremacists work well with other nationalities.
Having agreed to help the FBI, they steal some drugs and blow up some boats, though they do this going in with balaclavas, and then Colin Farrell takes his one off before he leaves.
Instead of explaining why they did this, they go talk to a random guy called Nicholas.
Sonny, what's up?
Something's gotta go somewhere, somewhen. Not too distant in the future.
He can apparently connect them to the Colombians, and they do this by bullying him. In this scene, people just pop in from nowhere. People we've never seen before, but act like we have.
Fuck that! I will cap your skanky ass and throw it off that goddamn balcony.
Noise, idle threats, abuse! Now you'll have to help us.
After that, we spend more time on a sex scene than we do on the plot so far.
To be held in your captivity.
Well, that gives new meaning to sleeping in the damp patch.
The meeting is arranged and they fly to Colombia.
Why do I get the feeling everybody knows we're here 15 blocks out?
Because you look like a pair from a buddy cop film.
They meet the Colombian Jose Hierro before becoming needlessly hostile.
Rather than getting them killed, this actually seems to work, and so they discuss the deal.
All this is just a smokescreen though, and they later meet Isabella, who takes them to meet the man, Montoya.
Having jumped through all these tedious hoops, they're finally given a job. Oh, and Isabella and Sonny are in love now.
They do their job and it goes perfectly to plan, even though they don't do a good job.
Message 210 o'clock departure, good afternoon. Radar contact. Someone maintain.
I got a double hit. I think there's another plane there.
Down at 220.
Ghost. One blip, one plane.
Now I know it's only a minor scene, but it's also really stupid. Surely they'd be looking out for that kind of thing, as it's an indicator that people are smuggling things. So then what if a plane blows up in midair? Do they just write that off as a ghost blip as well? Or do they just assume it was a really fat duck?
They call Jose Hierro and claim they were attacked and that they found some more drugs.
They show him the drugs that they stole earlier on in the film, which thankfully makes him suspicious.
I see you. I see a load we lost 2 weeks ago. All in the same place.
They give them back the drugs for free no less, because that wouldn't make it look like they're trying too hard to get into their good books.
Why, it's not as if they're undercover cops.
Instead of waiting to find out about the next job, Sonny goes off to ask Isabella out for a drink.
How fast does that go?
Goes very fast.
It is a go-fast boat after all, not to be confused with his go-fast penis.
So they head off to Cuba for a drink. Dull, tedious dancing is followed by dull, tedious sex.
Eventually, they remember there's a pitiful attempt at a plot and meet up with the FBI guy again.
Sonny and Rico decide they want to stay undercover because apparently it's a huge criminal setup. However, they do this over trying to deal with the white supremacists.
Oh, you think I'm in so deep I forgot? I will never doubt you.
I will just question your motives and ethics.
Later on, Jose Hierro almost works out the blindingly obvious.
I don't like the Americans.
Why?
Too good at what they do.
But he doesn't, and so he, as we all, suffers having to watch more of Isabella and Sonny dancing and pretending to have chemistry.
Outside the club, Sonny is trying to convince Isabella to escape her life of crime.
Things go wrong. The odds catch up. Probability is like gravity.
It alters the flow of time.
Of course, because he can't explain that he's a cop, she has no reason to listen to him.
Meanwhile, Rico is busy actually doing his job and finally works out which office the leak is coming from.
In order to try and add some tension into the third act, Rico's girlfriend Trudy is kidnapped by the white supremacists.
Clearly this happens quite a lot though, as Rico only seems mildly annoyed.
They get new meeting details and they quickly scramble to deal with this.
Rico's indifference to his girlfriend's life being in danger means he's able to stay calm and collected.
Because police work is laughably easy, they almost instantly work out where Trudy is being held hostage.
So they show up pretending to deliver pizza and storm the trailer.
One guy has the detonator, but this doesn't stop Rico dealing with two others first.
You can tell that he's worried because the camera is next to his face.
The white supremacists stand there looking at him, so they shoot him in the neck.
Well, just because he's a white supremacist doesn't mean he's going to kill a black person without a good reason.
They rescue Trudy only to leave her right next to the trailer.
Which is clearly the safest place for her, considering it's full of explosives that haven't been disarmed.
While they're at the hospital, Jose Hierro shows Montoya the video of Sonny and Isabella dancing.
Do you see this?
Oh my god, he dances like a cop!
Hierro calls Sonny to arrange a meeting for the next evening.
He also decides to take Isabella hostage as a backup plan.
We then see Rico and Sonny preparing for their encounter. However, this is the point where Rico decides to ask about Isabella.
And being a decent guy, he quotes Rico's critically injured girlfriend back at him.
Later we get to see the meeting and they do some sort of hostage exchange.
But before we have time to realise how stupid it is that they're trading a policeman for Isabella, people start shooting.
For the gun battle, they decided to have the camera really close to people, so you can't really get a sense of how the battle's going, who's shooting or who they're shooting at.
Not that it matters, as the police obviously end up winning anyway.
Isabella realises that Sonny must be a cop, so he ends up kidnapping her?
He takes her to a beach house where he explains he's going to let her escape to Cuba rather than face justice, although I suppose sex with Colin Farrell is punishment enough for a drug smuggling cartel.
And of course Trudy recovers in hospital, and the film ends. So, on the positive side, there are no positives to this movie. I absolutely hate this movie. I can't make a front for this one. It is absolutely terrible. We had to use subtitles in this movie because we couldn't understand Colin Farrell or Jamie Foxx throughout most of the scenes. They mumble and almost slur through a lot of their scenes, not making any real sense from what we can tell. Despite this, everyone who doesn't have English as a native language speaks it perfectly fine. I understand them throughout the whole thing.
The film is kind of impressive in a way because I've never found myself that bored and wanting something to end and not really caring what's going to happen, and yet at the same time so angry and wanting to watch all of them die.
There's one scene in particular that just throws me. It's where they're bullying that one guy so they can get the Colombian connection. They just randomly introduce people left, right and centre. We've never met these people before and we don't see... Well, I'm not sure if we see them later. I don't know who they are. If they come back, I didn't realise it was them. All they do is big up Sonny and Rico. We don't care. We don't want to hear about what they've done. We want to see them do it.
It's actually really bizarre as well that you have a film called Miami Vice, Most of it is spent in Cuba or Colombia, and there's not even much vice. There's an occasional look at some drugs they're transporting, and that is it. It could just be called The Adventures of Two Dickheads Infiltrating Drugs.
Sonny and Rico are also terrible at their job. They overact their parts and basically give away the fact that they're cops straight away. They use their real names as well, which may not have been a problem had they not had any family to worry about. Oh wait! A wife gets kidnapped because Rico used his real name.
And because finally, they never really explain why Isabella would be interested in Sonny, because Colin Farrell has all the charm, charisma and sex appeal of a snail you've just stepped in. Ultimately, Miami Vice is a great way to waste 2 hours of your life.
It's that time.
Yeah.